Hey guys, so what am I talking about today? Today I felt really compelled to make this video because in light of all of the exciting camera news that's been coming out of CP+, and all the vloggers and the influencers and the brand ambassadors spruiking, sharing and testing all of the news about the latest and greatest camera, I thought this is a great time to reflect on camera gear once again. It's very similar in a way to how I was feeling when the Fuji X100 Mark VI was announced. I had this itch. Do I need that Fuji? It's such a beautiful camera. Should I be pre-ordering it? Like all of these thoughts, all of this gas, and I'm not talking about the flatulence, I'm talking about gear acquisition syndrome. Now, remember in one of my videos I was talking about how gas is not a bad thing. We're creative individuals. We like nice things. Photography is both hobby and profession. And to shoot with something that's quite beautiful, that produces imagery in line with our creative vision, and it's just nice. It's something that we all like. So I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. But in a similar way to how I was reflecting on my needs versus my wants, I realized that there are a few things that are pulling at the heartstrings and tugging at the wants compared to the needs, especially in light of all of the news from CP+. I'm talking specifically about the Sigma BF. Now, firstly, I want to commend Sigma for taking a step in a new direction, for trying something that's a little bit different to all of the standard conventions and trying to progress the camera industry forward in a way that reflects our times, but also is still listening to customers' needs. But the question is, I was watching some of the TikTok and YouTube and Instagram stories recently at my mate's store, Leon, at Rice Ball Photography down at Peninsula Plaza. And Bobby Tonelli, who I absolutely love all of his reviews here in Singapore, had the Sigma BF on hand for testing. And he was testing some lenses down at Rice Ball Peninsula Plaza there at Leon's store. And you know, Leon's a great guy, and he's such a great guy. He's got so many lenses, he's got so much knowledge about this stuff, so it makes total sense to go there and test it. But it made me think, when I could see this camera, and I was thinking to myself, I've been watching the Petapixel reviews and I've been looking at all the first impressions. It is a very, very tempting camera. It's very tempting, but it's very similar to something that already exists, or rather two things that I feel already exist. And I think you guys know where I'm going to go with this. The Leica Q. It has a fixed screen like the BF. It has a 24 megapixel full frame 35mm sensor. It has an I-series style lens at 28 f1.7, but faster. It has an aluminium metal-y typed body, a la Sigma BF. I've got a little hand grip on this, and I've actually got a skin on this camera now, as you can see. So it's been kind of protected a little bit, because I do like to protect my investments, or at least my gear. And looking at this, it just made me think. I thought, I got to do this video because I need to shed some perspective on the parallels or the similarities of this camera compared to the newly announced and soon to be arriving to market Sigma BF. Again, this is not a video to bash Sigma and what they're doing. As a matter of fact, it should be celebrated. The fact that they've created this camera is a triumph. It's a marvel. It's a beautiful piece of engineering and equipment. I love the direction, but there are some niggling things that I think make me happy with my entire camera system that I've got, and I don't think I'll be upgrading for the foreseeable future, unless perhaps they come up with a fixed or tiltable screen instead of a fixed screen in a Mark II variant. But again, I think the L-mount series needs to have a few more lenses in its system. But that's a different video and that's a different thought. The main story or the main thought that I wanted to share perspective on is the gear that we've got is perfect. And there is gear that already exists that can be had for a bargain, like the Leica Q or the Q2 and the Ricoh GR3 and the Sony RX100 Mark VA. I like the VA. I don't like the new ones with the giant telephoto zooms. Those things are slow. Like a Deluxe 8. Not full frame. Sony RX100 Mark, whatever they are now, the RX1Rs. They're very old cameras, but they're quality. And also, I wanted to talk about this camera, the iPhone 16 Pro or 16 Pro Max. Now, I've got a shift cam lens case on here. This is also very similar to the Sigma BF. Now, the sensor size, for sure, it's a much smaller sensor. But think about the experience. The Sigma BF potentially offers us the ability for a small, pocketable, fixed screen camera. The iPhone, let's call it any smartphone, has a fixed screen, touch gestural-based menu, and lenses, a la Sigma BF. And I'll show you something. When I combine the smartphone with these shift cam lenses, of which I've got the 60 and the 16mm. So this is the 60mm lens, and this is the 16 here, the wider angle. Now, I had these lenses before the iPhone came up with the 48 megapixel wide angle camera, so that's why I've got the 16. But when you mount these lenses to the smartphone, like so, I would argue you've kind of got yourself a relatively tiny Sigma BF comparable experience. Now, I know that's not 100% true because we've got a 35 full frame sensor. You can put some of those incredibly beautiful I-series lenses, which I have shot the 65, 90, the 17 and the 35 on. They're fantastic lenses. I shot them at events and professional videography and corporate events. Fantastic lenses. So they are very, very, very nice. I absolutely love them. But again, just as a parallel and just as food for thought to help you with your gas, there are two cameras right here. One is full frame with a fixed screen and a beautiful lens. The other is not full frame, but computational photography, fixed screen with the ability to adapt lenses. Do we need? It's pretty good, by the way. They're pretty nice. Do we need the Sigma BF in 2025? Now, again, I'm not here to bash it because I appreciate what they're doing with this. And this is a decision for you to make for yourselves. But I just wanted to shed a level of perspective that may help, because I've been spending the last couple of days just looking into different systems at the moment seeing if it can augment my Nikon ZF shooting experience with perhaps a Leica SL2S or the SL3S. But when I was looking at the technical specifications of the cameras and the innards and how they perform, the sensor phase detection versus just the pure contrast detection, the photodiode receptor sizes and the sensitivity to low light, and the dynamic range versus the ability to push the ISO. Again, it just makes so much more sense for me to shoot with the Nikon ZF system because it is truly a fantastic system. And in these kind of researching and all of these kind of discovery, I realized that I don't really need to upgrade anything else. I'm set for a very long time with these camera systems. I just hope, please, Nikon, can you please, if you're watching this, add some of the firmware stuff to the Nikon ZF. Add some of this cool stuff that you had in the Nikon Z6III and all that kind of stuff. Put it on the ZF. I've got 2 of these bodies. I absolutely love them. Please keep upgrading the system. I want to keep supporting it. So yeah, that's my video in a nutshell. I didn't want to do anything, I don't want to come across as bashing these brands because Sigma in particular have come from a place of basic lenses to just amazing quality and lenses that rival Sony, Leica, and a lot of the other brands. So if you are looking and you are tempted, research, try, test, talk to people, write it out, talk it out, compare notes. Do everything you can to find every single little detail about that camera and that system. And if you find that there are only marginal incremental gains, i.e. smartphone market style, where we jumped from an iPhone 15 to an iPhone 16 and there are only marginal incremental updates, then it might not be worth your time, effort or money. It might be worth more to just get out there and start shooting with what you've got. For me, I weighed up the needs. I needed a hybrid camera body that takes high quality photos, decent megapixel and high ISO performance, clean noise levels. I need to quickly change from video to photo, and I want a unified color, camera and lens system. Nikon ZF. The Leica Q exists in my system because it's always been something that I loved and I had shot with and I had sold many years ago. It's small, it's pocketable, it's my favorite focal length, 28mm, and it's f1.7, which means it's a lens and a camera combo that I can just carry with me everywhere at all times, at any holiday, family situation that I want, without having to be bogged down by a bigger camera system. Size-wise, the Nikon ZF and the Leica Q are very comparable in size, and I'm quite happy with both. I am incredibly tempted by the Leica Q3, and I am weighing that up very seriously because in that particular use case, for me to travel with a camera with 60 megapixels, full frame 35mm and a 28mm fixed 1.7 lens, I could actually shoot everything I needed just with one camera and therefore lighten my entire camera burden while still getting super high quality shots. So the Q3 is still something that I'm evaluating whether it's worth the, let's call it upgrade. But from what I can see and what I've been testing, I have the perfect system right now, and I'm very thankful for that and very appreciative of that. So that's pretty much it for today. I just wanted to offer some thoughts. I'm not hard selling the Nikon ZF or the Leica Q in any way, shape or form. I just found similarities and I found justifications of why the cameras and the lenses and the systems that I have are working perfectly for me and why I didn't really need to upgrade in 2025 or maybe even 2026. There are fantastic things that are happening in the camera industry and I can't wait to see what happens, and I can't wait to get excited about new camera and lens innovations. But again, if you want to save a bit of money and you wanted to actually be creative and feel a little bit more rewarded for the experiences, then book a holiday, get out there, travel a little bit, go do a street walk with the lens that you've got, limit yourself and find out what you can do with it. Sit out there with the intention of shooting, okay, I'll try a wide, then I'll go tight, then I'll do a detail, then I'll give context, I'll go wide, and you break it up. Play. Photography and filming is play. And the more you have fun with it, the more you test it, the more you experience it, the better you'll get. And that's really what I wanted to relay here. Lots of good stuff happening, lots of exciting things. But look at all your stuff and your needs first. And there are a lot of cheap cameras out there now, especially from yesteryear, that are deemed old tech. So you can get yourself a bargain. Anyway, I hope that helps. I hope I didn't come across too ranting. And again, if you've got any questions, any thoughts, or any perspectives, I would love to hear them. Share them in the comments. And if you do find some of my thoughts and my reflections and my kind of little vloggy things interesting and helpful for you, then a like and a subscribe would really be appreciated. And if not, it's all good. Peace out and keep creating, yeah? Cheers.